Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Slicey Boy Saturday here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, Sarah the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about the differences between D2 and DC53 knife steel, specifically like the cutting edges and stuff like that. What it is, and we'll also discuss obviously price points because it does seem like DC53 is quite a bit more expensive than D2 is what it is now. And I think it's because it's a newer kind of steel is what it is. From my understanding, the big difference was D2 is basically machine tooling is what it is, kind of steel. And then DC53 is basically something that Japan made that's like a higher intensity and like it has better retention of the edges and stuff like that of knives and et cetera, et cetera. So, and of course you basically just have a bunch of, money aspects there is what it is. Obviously, this is technically a Saturday, Sunday stream is what it is, because obviously it's at midnight here. We'll do another Slicey Boy later today is what it'll be too, probably on neck knives. And it'll be about specifically small neck knives you can carry around the neck and use as like personal protection knives is what it is there. Now, granted, I wouldn't recommend doing that if you're in, concealed weapons territories, what it is there, because the big thing there is it would be concealed weapon basically in most cases in most states. So you'd have to have that shit like out in the open. So if something ever happens, you can just grab it off what it is then. And everybody knows you have it at the time because you're open carrying basically what it is at the time. So, and to answer the comment here, yes, the question, the answer to that was 2 point actually. The answer was yes, I got more knives. The answer was when you sent me that package like a week ago, I already ordered some stuff is what it is. So, and I just had this basically sitting around for a while now is what it is. So, but yeah, it's interesting how some of these companies sent these things. So the first one we're going to talk about is this particular DC53 knife right here and how it was shipped to me in this packaging that kind of looks like a brick of Coke. And you literally had to like slice it open from this side and then just pull it out of the thing as what it is. So I do appreciate how they packaged this though, because it was instead of putting the label and stuff on the box and putting tape around the box and stuff like that, and messing up the box, they just basically made like a big like Coke brick bubble wrap thing that they just put some tape on is what it is then. So, but yeah, I thought that was pretty hilarious. But this is one of the DC53 knives that I got, which is, it'll actually open here. That's the thing. Jesus, these boxes are very hard to open is what it is. It looks like it's swelled shut or something. I guess you need to like fall out basically just a little bit. Good God, this is hard to get out of here. There it goes. Yeah. So basically this was one of the two that I got here from a company that basically had a half price sale on these, and I believe this was right around 25, I want to say. So, which usually I don't go past 20 on knives, but knowing that this was, different quality knife and whatnot, like I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And obviously it had their full wrap around it, and then initially it had something other wrap around there too that I took off already is what it was, and I opened it up. But yeah, so that's a DC53 knife from a company called DSDOK and then has their little DC53 on the side of there is what it is there. So that's pretty cool. I like the handle of this a lot. It's a very, very smooth handled grip. And I do like their jimping on there quite a bit too as well, because it is like a larger kind of jimping is what it is. And it's just got a nice edge to it in general, and like it actually feels really, really good in the hand too, for that matter. So, which again, for it being, I think was over, if it wasn't on sale, it would have been like $45, $50 something what it is. So it should be feeling good in the hand is what it is. But yeah, we'll do a little, got some cardboard here, so we're gonna do a little slice bit of this out of the box is what it is. Yeah, see that shows you right there like how good that edge is what it is, dude. So And as some people have described DC53, they said it was a D2 on crack, basically, which is ironic that they sent me this knife and what looked like a brick of cocaine. Wrappable stuff is what it is there. So, yeah, kind of amusing on that one. But anyway, the other DC53 knife that I have is this one from a company called, I believe it was EF something or other. And obviously packaging not quite as good. Just has, you know, some stuff there is what it is. And then obviously it just has this little wrap up too. The difference here obviously in this one is that it had a actual piece of paracord already attached to it, which I like quite a bit, honestly. But yeah, this was the EF 130 in DC53 steel. And the nice thing about this one is it has a similar kind of handle. Not the handle on this one is not quite as smooth. Like you can see, there's like a little bit of like, hopefully I'll pick up in the light. It's almost like a little bit of like scaling underneath like the actual like material. There is what it is. And I believe these are both G-Jet handles, but I'm not sure about that one offhand. The difference here, obviously, this one is it has a nice little like finger loop thing right there. I don't know if that's actually called offhand, but it's nice because you can literally hold your finger like that, basically, on the knife. And then if you would need to like use it for like batoning or something like that, you have like a better grip is what it is. Difference with this one, obviously, is that it has slightly like larger jimping, I would say, honestly, on there. And the curvature is a little bit weird, though, is what it is, because it has like the jimping there, and then it basically goes curved down, and then it goes curved back up, is what it is then. So, but it does feel pretty good in the hand. And again, we'll do another slice test. Here's what it is. That one wasn't quite as good out of the box, but then again, it might have just been with this one. Let me try it again. Yeah, it's about the same, honestly. Maybe a little bit duller, but not quite. Not like dull is what it is. So, but yeah, pretty good knives in general. Like I said, I think this one was normally like 70 or something, and I want to say I paid maybe 35 for it, is what it was. So, would I ever pay that for it again? Probably not. But again, I just wanted something in DC53 at the time is what it was, and this was the cheapest thing I could find on the internet. So, anyway. Moving on to D2 steel, which is what we have in our third box. And this is something I kind of previewed on Friday. Here's what it is in the cool little dragon inlay box there. Of course, I got a big old less than now is what it is. I think that was just from sitting around is what it was or something, or maybe getting knocked into something. But yeah, we got ourselves a big old mini katana. And again, also has a nice little, I don't know why this one's like seems to be sticky as what it is. Yeah, I might put like some oil or something in this. It's kind of wanting to stick and stuff. And this does look like it should manipulate, but it doesn't want to seem to go any which way is what it is, which is just weird. Because there's definitely a way to like maneuver this around. It just doesn't want to pull around. I don't really want to bust it, obviously, like I said previously. But yeah, this thing's pretty cool. I think this was $24 on sale, and it was normally over $50. So, and this is from a company called Dragon Creek. So it is right there. It's a nice little D2 mini katana. So really, I just wanted to be a ninja. Is what it is once in my life. But difference between DC53 and D2. Didn't quite get it all there is what it is. But then again, I'm also holding a giant fucking blade. So let's try that one again. Yeah, doesn't quite want to go all the way through for some reason there on that cardboard. Whereas the DC53 did is what it was. So, and again, it might just be this knife itself is what it is though. But yeah, I could definitely see carrying this thing as like just like figuring out a way to like put it on the back and just like carry it on the back like a little Leonardo sword or something like that would be done. Because I know since we got the gun right stuff taken care of here in Ohio, and we got the knife right stuff taken care of a few years ago now, I can legally carry stuff like this around is what it is. And of course you'd be open carrying that no matter what, because you know you're not gonna conceal carry something like that is what it is, just because you'd look like a nut job with something like under your shirt, wherever it is there. You look like that fucking guy that was Charlie Kirk's assassin, where he literally had the rifle down his pants so it is there. So, other two knives I got are both folders here. Finally got a 704 tactical knife. Or 704 gear, I guess it would be now. I'm actually a little bit disappointed in this one, just because it does have a similar thing to the other that Ferris one I got the other day, except it was like almost $10 more is what it is. I think this was like 20 on sale, whereas the other one was like 12. But basically, this is what it comes with. You got your little hard carrying case. It's got the 704 logo on it there. You got the knife itself here. You get an embroiled 704 cleaning cloth. And then there is a couple little 704 stickers and stuff in here. Whereas one is a 704 sticker, the other one was a, what is this? A 704gear.com, like a little bear attacking or whatever there. And then a little lifetime warranty card, which I think is nice. And the big difference, obviously, with this one compared to the other ones that I've talked about that were, almost $10 cheaper than it is there, is this is actually made in America, as far as I'm aware. And the other ones are all made in China, obviously. So, but yeah, the only thing I'm disappointed with this knife is just the size of it. It just seems very small for what it is. Like, I wish it was a little bigger, honestly. Specifically, I wish it was a little bit longer, maybe about this much longer, basically. And the reason I say that is because, for me, as a big-handed man, like, I can basically grip this thing, like, barely in my hand is what it is there. And it's a little bit harder to, manipulate and whatnot. So, but it's a nice little blade is what it is. And the one thing I like about this one, it has the little teeny baby jimping on it right there. That can be easily used to do like a ferro rod strike and stuff like that. So, and we'll test this one obviously against the cardboard here and see how much difference it is there. Yeah, see, that's a pretty good edge retent. That's pretty much on par with the DC53 is what it is there. So I think it might just be that bigger blade. It was just too big to manipulate for a clean cut, basically, maybe. Like, I'm sure it could do a clean chop, I'm sure, that's what it is. But yeah, it's interesting though, either way. And of course, even their little knife holder thing here is a monogram 704 thing is what it is there. They really want you to know that what you're getting there, man, for their company. So, and I'll disagree with it. I'd probably do the same thing if I had my own little knife company or 2A company, whatever it is. So, hopefully that train whistle's not coming through too loud right now. That's our midnight meat train coming through right now. So, and then finally the last one is a EMH 14 is what this is called. And this is actually, I think this was around $20 that I got the other day. So what's nice about this guy is that G10 scaling is fucking pimp, man. And obviously this is a access lock / crossbar lock. The difference between this and the other ones that I've had that are access locks and crossbar locks and stuff is this actually does have a full metal insert in it, more like a liner lock. And it's interesting too because with the thumb studs on the side of this, it's actually easier to simply thumb stud it up like that than it is do anything else. And it's a pretty nice looking knife. It feels really good in the hand, even with the way that the clip is on the back. Here's what it is. And I think the reason that some of these clips just don't feel good in the hand is simply because of how they're like so extended out as what it is right there. And so they kind of almost dig into your finger when you're trying to like manipulate the blade is what it is there. And the interesting thing about this one too, obviously, is that with it having that full metal liner there, it's almost like a jimping piece right here is what it is behind the knife itself, and there's no jimping on the actual blade is what it is then. So I do like that as well because it means you can essentially just, shut this knife down and close it up, and then you would use this piece and just have like a ferro rod and be able to strike like that is what it is there. So, and I could easily see using this in the field too for that matter. But yeah, it's a really nice blade though. The only thing I don't like is it's not as easy to open with the access lock as the other ones are that I have. But let's go ahead and test this versus the thing here. That cut pretty clean as well. So, yeah, I think it was just that big ass katana was just not able to get the clean cut as what it is there. But yeah, I don't know. There's not really a whole lot like from just comparing these now for like DC2 to DC53 is what it is. There's not a whole lot of difference there, I think, except it feels like the 53 is more inclined to actually be able to uh, be a better chopper and stuff like that in the field, obviously, with it being a fixed blade. So, but we'll do another little slice through there. Maybe try this way, is what it is. Yeah, see, that's a better cut right there, is what it is. Yeah, that's a way better cut than, dude. So this actually does feel like it's a better cut than is what it is, just feeling that and doing it that way is what it is, comparing to the DC2, or the D2 is what it is. And the reason I say that, obviously, is because when you're talking about manipulation and how you would need to go through things, like if you're trying to go through steel, or you're trying to put steel through, you know, bark or cardboard or whatever it is here, you're obviously going to want to have something to be able to go right through it and basically slice through it like butter, whereas this seems to slice through it like butter. And it is, like I said, it's very, very smooth. And yeah, like you can't go wrong with something if you're getting into things. That's the thing I've realized recently is like a lot of the blades that I've picked up in the past like month and a half or so, I'm getting to the point right now where there's several I'm definitely going to send back just because of the blade steel not being as good as some of these other ones are, and I'll just keep these better ones as what it is then. Because I think my new thing, if I ever do buy anything in the future, is going to be basically D10, or not D10. It'll be Oz 10 or better quality is what it is then. So whether it be Oz 10, Oz 8, D2, or DC53, or even like 1095 or something like that. Like that's basically what I'm going to start buying is what it is, if I buy anything else for that matter. Just because it seems like there's a lot of these that are there's a lot of these that are sharp out of the box that are not as good as others are is what it is. And there's others that are okay and moderate good and stuff like that, but they're not as good as other ones could be as it is there, you know what I mean? So, and I also ended up picking up a new multi-tool that I haven't opened yet. This was a Freelander one that specifically it was 704 gear was the one that recommended on one of his daily deals there that I ended up picking this up for because it was, I believe this was on sale for around 20 or whatever it was. It was a pretty good deal. So, and I wanted to have a second multi-tool just because, you know, you never know what you're going to need, obviously. And it's always good to have, you know, more than one thing, obviously, at that point. So, man, that really did cut smooth right through. That's what it is. That's how that should go, by the way. If you're cutting like a letter open, dude, this is a perfect letter cutting kind of knife. Because that shit just cuts right through what it is. But yeah, let's go ahead and check out this this Freelander multi-tool then is the last thing for the day. So let's see what we got here with this. Got a little note thing that shows you all the different pieces and things that are part of this whole thing. So you got a knife, a screwdriver, a can opener, a rope cutter, a slotted screw crowbar, a bottle opener, and a window breaker, as well as a little mini saw there, and a bunch of bits for Allen keys and stuff. So I will say, you would think if you want to monogram your holder thing there, you would, I don't know, maybe put the symbol for your company up here so you could actually write the entirety of the name as like one thing instead of it saying free and and then it's a dir underneath it there at the bottom. So I guess technically the L would be the guy, so it'd be like Freeland, and then it was dir. Yeah, it's just weird. But anyway. Check this thing out. That is weird as shit looking, I'll tell you that right now. So this is the window breaker right here. and that does feel pretty sharp to the touch. I believe this is a can opener right here. It would be maybe. And I got other stuff here too, obviously. This is a little attachment thing for all your bits. That was pretty cool, actually. So it just locks into place. There's what it is. And then you got all your bits right in there is what it is. But you just need to then pull them out. Then you can pop them right into the thing there and use as needed. And then it just goes right back into the... Sorry about my video quality kicking in and out like that. But yeah, so you got your little slots there, and then you put them right back in the slots when you're done. And it's pretty cool. It's got a little bottom part there for it to click it into place, basically. And then you simply just click that, pop the thing back, and then you pop them right over what it is. So they're all in place underneath. That's what it'll be then. That's pretty slick, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, let's see what else we got on here then. So there should be a knife here, I think. This is a... Okay, so this is your... So you have a screwdriver slot thing right there. You got your little can opener here, and then you got a rope cutter here is what it is on this one. And then... Trying to see if there's anything on this side other than that. That will be able to pull out. I feel like there should be something else here, but I'm not sure. No, I guess not. I guess it's just that on this side. Okay. And then on the other side we got... I was gonna say maybe pull this up, maybe not. Okay, there's your knife right there. That's an interesting blade on here too, for that matter. Ooh, there is a lot of play in that, even when it's undone. Jesus. Yeah, I would only use that thing in a pinch, man, because that is a shitload of blade play on that. For it being locked in place right now. That is not cool, man. Yeah, there is way, way too much blade play on that thing. On that pivot point. I think I'm seeing what the problem is too here, and it's because of how they have the lock in there. Because it's too far up, there's like not enough material cut away or whatever for it to like lock into place properly as what it is there. And that's what's causing it to be able to shift like that. So, kind of not cool, man. Also feels quite dull to the touch too, for that matter. Like it's not even a knife at all, really, honestly. Actually, it looks like a knife blank out of the box right now is what it is. Like, just looking at it, looks like it has no edge or tension at all to it is what it is. Let me grab a piece of paper here. If I can. Or even just grab another. Ad from the other day. These local ad things I send out as what it is. Let's see if this actually has any kind of cut to it at all, for that matter, or not. I don't think it does, honestly. Oh yeah, there's like nothing there, dude. Yeah, that's so dull, it's not even funny. Just do it like this and see if it even cuts. Yeah, I guess there's like a teeny bit of an edge there, but not much. Yeah, that is disappointing as fuck, dude. Especially for the price point of this. So, anyway, let's see how the saw is on this. Yeah, saw's got some blade play. You can actually hear an audible click when that goes into place, but it has some more like blade play as well too on that one for the pivot points. So let's check this one out and see how this actually even saws, or if it saws good or not. Yeah, can definitely saw through some stuff. So it's a nice little saw cut. I could see maybe using that in like the field in the pinch or something like that. If you need to like cut down like a small branch or something, maybe. But I don't know, man. That seems a little. Yeah, like I said, for the price that I paid for this, I think it was right around like 25 or 30. So, is it worth that? I don't think so. I mean, maybe just because of like having all the bits and stuff in there, like maybe it might be worth that for that, and like everything else. But yeah, those blades are not good at all, man. Like they definitely need to be sharpened, but they also need to be like the pivots on them need to be like more lockable into place so they don't go anywhere. Is what it is. So, and then actually, what's interesting about this thing is that, and I just realized this after the fact now, is on this side you actually have 3 different Allen wrenches stuck in there. See if I can maneuver one of these out here or not. Should be able to pop this out easily, but I don't know if I can or not. There it goes. Yeah, just comes right out there is what it is, and then they got little like slot hole back. You just shove it in and then push it down into there. There's what it is. So that's cool. Yeah, it's pretty slick, man. I'm not gonna lie. So you have 3 different Allen keys right there is what it is for doing different things. But yeah, I mean it's got some uses to it. But like I said, for just how the blade play is on those, the knife and on the saw too, for that matter, I'm very disappointed in that one alone. That being said, when this is locked, actually I guess it's the same way on the other side too. Like even the rope cutter, can opener, screwdriver piece still has a lot of blade play in that pivot. Yeah, it's almost like when they were machining this, they didn't like it's right here. It was the lock on it. So right there's a lock on it. It's like it went like a ½ inch too much or something, or maybe like a couple millimeters too much, and it's like not being able to lock behind the thing properly. That like pivot point properly, so it can actually be able to be in place correctly. Is what it is there, and not give any give like that's what it is. So I don't know. Again, this is what happens when we make stuff in China instead of on U.S. soil. Is what it is you get half-ass manipulations like that's what it is and stuff. So it's a bit disappointing for sure. I can tell you that right now. Overall, like I said, it's not super bad, but like it could be better for sure, especially for that price. So I think that's what kind of irritates the shit out of me on that one a little bit. There's what it is. Yeah, like I said, this had what did it have? It had saw, knife, screwdriver connection hole, and then the bits for it. Can opener, ripe cutter, slotted screw crowbar, which is what the one side of the thing was. And then it also doubled the bottle opener underneath there is what it is. And then you had the window breaker, which was the other piece on the other side there. So this, where we're at now. So it's weird how they say that on there. Oh, okay. Yeah. So this would be the slotted screw crowbar thing. This little piece right here is the window breaker, and then this little like divot piece right there on the end is where the bottle opener would be, is what it is. So yeah, I mean that's cool, man. It's an interesting take for sure on stuff, but like I said, for the price point, like it seems like they should do a little bit better job on the overall CNCing, where it would be at that point then, or machining and tooling and stuff on the whole thing to make it like better, just straight out of the box as it is there. So you don't have to have people go out there and like potentially take like a thing or a file or whatever the case be in there and like manipulate some of the shit themselves or whatever, so they can then have it be like properly in place and not be all fucked up or whatever then. So yeah, I'm pretty disappointed in that one for sure, but everything else is pretty good though. So what it is, all the knives were good. And again, going back to our other multi-tool, we got the old Flessa that I paid about 20-ish for. about a month ago, give or take now. And yeah, by comparison, I think this guy is a lot better as what it is. Of course, it has its little ability to go around things and whatnot. And being a multi-tool, but this is also a wrench, and it also has all the little bits on the side. There's what it is to do stuff with that all go into this guy right here is what it is. Or wait, is it this guy right here? Or is it a different guy here? I'm trying to remember now. I think it is that guy right there. Or wait, which side is it right now? No, I'm sorry. It's not that guy right there. It would be this guy over here where it pops into place, and then you can switch out the bits and stuff like that for different things that it is there. And like I said, this one has a lot better lock than what it is then too. And it's because that thing actually pops out properly and locks into place. It doesn't just kind of stick there is what it is next to the pivot. So, but yeah, this thing's pretty cool. What's nice about this one though, that piece that I picked up earlier, here's what it is. What's cool about this is it just kind of looks like a bar thing or whatever. It is a literal ferro rod in there that also doubles on the back part here is a little whistle. So, and yeah, I think this thing was around 20-ish or so, give or take. It might be more than that now, it might be more like 30 now, but like, I know when I bought it on sale, it was like 20 something. So yeah, I like this one quite a bit, honestly, for a multi-tool. And can't go bad with the fact of having like little manipulative, like, you know, wrench piece on it. There's what it is. So, especially when you can use this to open like bottles and stuff like that, or like stubborn, what you call it, and what have you. But anyway, like I said, I think honestly, if you compare the two, the Freelander versus the Flessa here, I think the Flessa beats it hands down is what it is, just because it's better machining quality is what it is, around the same price point too, for that matter. So it just really depends on what you need and what you want from multi-tools, what it is there. So, but yeah, other than that, the DC53 I think is a good steel. It definitely is very smooth and very sharp out of the box. And the only difference, obviously, with those, whether it be D2, DC53, etc., is that obviously those are, they have a good edge retention to them is what it is, but of course when they do dull, it's a lot harder to sharpen them back to their original spot is what it is. Whereas, you know, if you go down to like Oz 10 or 1411 or 440C and stuff like that, that's where you get like all those ones that can easily be, you know, sharpened up real quick, but then they just dull out real quick too is what it is. So, I don't know. Like I said, if you have the money, I would say invest in better quality stuff is what it is, especially considering that DC53 and D2 are both better at rusting or preventing rust and stuff like that, versus a lot of these other ones are, you know, not as good as what it is, just because of how they're chemically formed is what it is. So I'm not a chemistry major, I never was, so I don't know exactly what the chemical process is to like make the steel harder and like make it more rust resistant and stuff like that. But I know it's like there is a lot of them on the market right now that are better like that. But of course, then you start getting other stuff too that is like way more expensive than the $100 that it is there. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not paying like gun money for a knife is what it is. So like this is like this 35 on sale is basically where I top out at, I think is what it is now, forever. But yeah, it's a whole thing though. But yeah, other than that though, that's pretty much it for today for this episode. I will be back for another Slicey Boy episode. We'll be doing I'm just gonna call it Saturday or Sunday, and we'll just go with 3, 4, 5, etc. From the feature now is what it is. So I'll be back with episode 3 at some point tomorrow, where I'll talk more about the like little small blades you can do as like a neck wearable knife is what it is there for self-defense, personal protection, and stuff like that. And we'll also probably talk about there's a couple better lesser steels that I have right now that I want to talk about as well tomorrow that are more in the 440C and the 1411 and stuff like that I know are still good out of the box for the most part, but like you can definitely tell the difference between like these and the D2/DC53 is what it is. So, but yeah, other than that though, like I said, it's been fun. It's been real. It's after midnight my time, so I'm tired. I don't really feel the greatest, and I don't want to piss my neighbors off too much more because it's technically quiet hours right now. So, till later. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Stay safe. All that good stuff. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Later.